Hi everyone. So I hope that you're all doing okay and I hope that you're fine. Today we will have shades of meaning. But first off, log in using the aplusstudent.com and then you scroll down, click on your name. That's after inputting your password and your email. You go to language art, grade 7, and we go to shades of meaning, which is the chapter we'll be having today. We have two lessons from Shades of Meaning. Describe the difference between related. Okay, so we have two lessons under Shades of Meaning. The first is describe the difference between related words and positive and negative connotations. So that's what we will have now. We will start with the first one. Describe the difference between related words. Now, let's get the explanation, okay? Many words are similar but have subtle differences in meaning, okay? So a lot of words are similar. Of course, they have similarities, but they have subtle difference in meaning. You can think of these differences as shades of meaning. That's what we call the shades of meaning. The subtle difference in words, okay? For example, think about the words acquaintance, friends, and confidence. Acquaintance, friend, and confidence. Subtle difference between these three words. Acquaintance is a person you know only casually. Friend, a person you have a close, positive relationship with. And confidant, and especially close friend, you share your secrets with. If you look at this, they have subtle meaning or differences between them. Acquaintance, friend, and confidence all name relationship between people, but they each suggest a different type of relationship. We can have a confidence, but the person is not an acquaintance to us or is not a friend to us. Okay? Or you can have an acquaintance, but you don't consider the person a friend or your confidant. All right. So there are subtle differences between the three words. Acquaintance, a person who you know only casually. A friend, a person you have a close positive relationship with. Confidant, and especially close friend you share secret with. So you could be friends with someone, but that person is not your confidant because you do not share your secret with them. Or you could be friends, but that person is not an acquaintance to you. He or she is more than friends to you. Okay? So it depends. They all have almost similar meaning, but there are subtle differences regardless. Because they all show relationship, but you can still notice the difference between them. When you write, consider the different shades of meaning between words. When you write, you have to consider the different shades of meaning between words. Choose a word that is more precise or descriptive. If you want to write, maybe you have to write an essay. You have to choose a word that is more precise or descriptive to whatever you want to explain. Like confident instead of friend can help you express your idea more clearly and accurately. So, whenever you have writing to do or anything that requires you to write up something, you have to consider shades of meaning. This is why shades of meaning is important. Oh, a lot of words have differences, but sometimes the differences are subtle, and you have to choose the best word that express your idea more clearly and accurately. If your idea is not expressed in a good way, then people will not understand what you're saying. It's not going to give the in-depth description that you want. So, be careful when picking words, when choosing words to use when writing. Which word means something will always be living? Now, which word means something will always be living? The word immortal will live or last forever. The word alive means that something is living right now. So immortal means something will always be living. So that's the question here. It says which word will always be living. Okay, living like continue existing. And immortal means that something will live or last forever. Of course, immortal, they're gonna be existing forever. But alive, you just say, oh, she's alive. That means she's just alive for now. She might die tomorrow or he might die tomorrow. You can never tell. Okay? So that's actually what shades of meaning mean. Now we have which is more likely to happen. Which is more likely to happen? Something probable is likely to happen. Something possible could happen. So if you say something possible, okay. If you hear that possible, it's possible. That means there are every chances that it will happen. But if you say probable, that means you're not certain. You're just saying maybe. You're not sure. Okay? You're not sure about it. Which word refers to a person's shape? A person's shape. Shape of a person. Both words tell us about someone's body. The word posture refers to how a person carries his or her body, such as sitting up straight or slouching. The word build refers to a person's shape and size, such as being slender or muscular. Build refers to a person's shape. So between posture and build, it actually has a subtle difference. Like it's like the shape and size of someone, and then the posture is like how you carry your body. So obviously, they all have to do with the body, but there are differences because you cannot put posture in place of build, and you cannot put build in place of posture. Which is older? Something ancient and something antique are both old and often valuable. But something ancient is very, very old. So something ancient is older. Ancient, older. Which is meant to trick or deceive by appearing like the original. A substitute takes the place of something, but it isn't necessarily meant to be mistaken for it. A fake is intended to look just like the original. I'm gonna give you an example. I am a substitute teacher for your live YouTube live class tutor. So now I'm just taking a place for your YouTube live tutor. Doesn't mean that I'm gonna take everything totally. I'm just taking place for today. So that's substitute. But if you have fake takes everything of the original. Okay, it takes everything totally and you have nothing left. So that's the difference between fake and substitutes. Now, which word refers to how much of something there is? How this do you have? The word amount means quantity and tells you how much there is. The word capacity tells you the amount that something can hold. For example, the of the swimming pool is total amount of water that it can contain. So amount is referred to how much of something. So if you're like, how much is this? You're asking for the amount. Okay? You're asking for the amount, not the capacity. So I hope that you can understand shades of meaning, and I hope you'll be able to give at least some difference between words, and you can pick up the right word that is suitable when you are writing. So let's move on to your test now. Give me a moment, please. Now, which is more argumentative? Which will be more argumentative? A response or a retort? Let me see. Is there anyone on the chat? Uh, if you're on the chat, you can share your answer. Okay. So a retort is more argumentative. Now, which is more official? Official. Which is more official? Is it an association or a group? So an association is more official. Okay? Then which word means something will always believe in? So we had this in the tutorials. Of course it says immortal. Which word suggests someone is sneaky? A sneaky person. Sneaky person. Is it corny or wise? So a sneaky person is a corny person, not a wise person. Which word shows a learn for someone? distrust or dislike. Which word refers to a person's shape, posture, or build? So we had this in the tutorial. Which word describes someone who is awkwardly tall and thin, slender or lanky? Lanky. Which word describe any type of scent, smell, or fragrance? Is it the fragrance or what? Type of scent, fragrance. So if you click on the wrong answer, you have to scroll down here and just see the correction. Okay? So smell is a type of scent, not the fragrance. Which is more negative? Leave or abandon? Leave here. Abandon. Which word refers to something there is? The amounts. Which would refer to discussion, conversation. That's it for describe the difference between related word. This is quite easy, so you have to make sure that you understand what I said about shades of meaning. And then if you've not completed this test, you need to complete that. So we'll move on to the next one. We have the positive and the negative connotation. Positive and negative connotations. So, which phrase has a more positive connotation? First of all, what's the connotation? Denotation is literal meaning of a word that can be found in a dictionary. So, denotation is a literal meaning of words that can be found in the dictionary. But when you have the connotation, it's the feeling or idea that goes along a word, a feeling or idea that goes with a word. How do you feel about the word? Many words with similar denotations have different connotation. For example, think about the word frugal and miserly. Both denote tending to save money, but frugal has a more positive connotation and suggests a person is careful with his money. With measly, while measly has a more negative connotation and suggests a person is cheap or stingy. So, connotation is how it makes you feel. An inquisitive person has a more positive connotation. Inquisitive and nosy people, inquisitive and nosy both denote taking an interest in something. However, inquisitive suggests a healthy interest in learning more, while nosy suggests an inappropriate interest in other people's affairs. So when we have inquisitive, It's like, oh, you're curious. Okay? When you're inquisitive, you're curious. Oh, what's gonna happen now? But if you're nosy, you just like to, it portrays a more negative look. And it's just like you're trying to involve yourself with a lot of things, things that you are not called into or you're not supposed to be there. That's what nosy is. So now, which phrase has a more negative connotation? So you have to find the negative and the positive. And again, the connotation has to do with your feelings, how you feel. So depending on what you feel, that's how you can determine is it negative or is it positive. Now, which phrase has a more negative connotation? A stench has a more negative connotation. Stench and odor both denote a smell. However, stench always suggests an unpleasant smell. Odor and stench, they all explain that it's a type of smell, but when you stench, you have a very bad and unpleasant smell. Then, which has a more positive connotation? A subject, a unique object has a more positive connotation. Unique and peculiar, both both denote unusualness. However, unique suggests something is special, while peculiar suggests something is strange or weird. Yeah. If you look at specular, you'll be like, oh, it's so unique, so strange. Like, yeah, that's what the peculiar suggests. Let's have some more examples. So we have negative. Which one? A bull-headed employee has more negative connotation. Bull-headed and persistent both denotes not backing down. However, bull-headed describes a person who is overly stubborn, while persistent describes a person who is determined and tenacious. Now, which is a positive? A prudent leader has a positive connotation. Prudent and cowardly both denotes avoiding risks or danger. However, prudent suggests someone is wisely cautious, while cowardly suggests someone lacks bravery. Okay, and then which has a more negative connotation here? Okay, we've had this already. So yeah. Okay, so that's basically it for connotations and denotations. Okay, so you need to be able to differentiate them. Okay, if you can differentiate it, then yeah, that's perfect. So let's go to the test. Which phrase has a more positive connotation? A cowardly leader or prudence? Of course, a prudence. Cowardly looks more negative. So, prudence. More negative. Scrutinize someone's outfit, studying someone out. Okay, scrutinizing. So when you scrutinize, you're like looking too much, and it looks kind of rude when you scrutinize. Positive, a nosy person or inquisitive. Inquisitive. Negative connotation, a box filled with documents, a box crammed with documents. Negative, crammed. Okay. Which phrase has a more negative connotation? Accompanying spouse or accompanying profile? This one. Negative, to exploit something, to use something. To use. Negative connotation, a bullheaded employee. Positive, stingy person, thrifty. Nitpicker, editor, or meticulous. So negative, nitpicker. Negative, conceited person, a confident person. This one. Okay, so if you are not done yet with this lesson, make sure you complete that. I'm gonna give an open chance, and then you can ask me whatsoever questions you do have. So, so ask me your questions. Okay, so also if you have questions, If you have questions with any lesson, you can ask on any lesson from grade 7. Can I next lesson start from a new topic. So you can ask any questions from here and I will explain to you. So any lessons. Okay, so if we have no questions, we will end here for today. Do have a good evening and see you in the next lesson. Bye, everyone.